I'm leaving home for the coastline, someplace under the sun. I feel my heart for the first time.
Our last evening together in this beautiful place, and we have a special guest. Welcome, Bhante. And this is a special occasion. It's our little wrap-up discussion on this retreat and how to bring the practice home, and maybe give a few analogies and few tips and tricks that you can take to bring home. So many things happen for everybody here for these past 10 days, and you might be wondering, so what am I supposed to do when I go home? Because this practice is very colorful. There's a lot of shades of different colors and experiences. So sometimes when we navigate through a lot of those, we kind of wonder, okay, but I've made it this far, all these beautiful things have happened, but so what's this meditation really completely all about? Is it Mettā? Is it when it goes to the head? Am I supposed to hold it in the heart? What about the spiritual friend? So there's so many things, and we will clear that up tonight. And first I like to begin with, again, the story of the man who planted trees that I started with at the beginning of the retreat. This is, for me, this is a story that really connects and relates to our practice at home, where in this story, if you remember, I shared with you on the first day, was about this man in the French Alps, who was actually living alone and planting trees one seed at a time in especially well-selected places where there would be a chance for them to grow. And he would do this with a lot of determination, with a lot of faith and devotion, and without really expecting much in return. Actually, he just didn't expect anything in return. He just planted trees, planted little seeds in the desert. And after some time, then the seeds actually started to grow and form some kind of shade for the ground and some kind of small canopy, still fragile, but still something started to come up. And the moisture was able to stay a little bit longer in the ground, and that also sparked a lot of growth, because once there are little plants, then it protects the soils, and the soil retains its water, and when the soil retains its water, then it feeds the plants even more. It doesn't just evaporate. And that's just there is a beautiful analogy for our practice, so that now we have grown a little bit this plant in our heart, these beautiful states, and now they have created some kind of canopy, some shade, and there's an ecosystem of the Dhamma that is now protecting you and enriching also at the same time, a way to live your life with so much happiness and joy of the Dhamma, following the virtues and knowing right effort, just seeing unwholesome states, letting them go, and bringing up wholesome states. And just that is a lot of wisdom. And then the trees kept growing, and soon, after a few years, there was a young forest which was able to welcome birds, welcome animals, and then the streams started to run again, because the water could actually accumulate and people started moving back in. And this is such a beautiful simile, analogy, if we just be dedicated to our practice and not expect so much in return, actually after some time we will influence and help this whole ecosystem around us, little seed after little seed. And with patience and determination, devotion, then these trees will grow up and up to actually shelter you, to help you in life, and create this beautiful ecosystem around you, which is the ecosystem of righteousness, wholesome states, Dhamma, Mettā, love, compassion, and always letting go of tension. And planting little seeds one at a time with every little actions that you do, whether it's you just noticed that there was an unwholesome state within you and you actually siksar'd it, which is already a huge victory. Or if it's just a really random acts of kindness for people, being just generous, helpful, kind, attentionate. And this, everything that you do like this will come back to you. So what you put out into this world, be sure that it comes back to you also. And actually the Buddha said it comes back to you 1,000-fold. When you're generous, you might not see the wholesome repercussions of it right away, but just your generosity will come back to you 1,000-fold. And that also depends on how you do this, to who you give, and with what kind of mind state. And so giving, helping, being kind, being happy to give. The Buddha said you should be happy when preparing your gift, you should be happy when you give your gift, and you should be happy after you've given it and you think back on it. And that's actually just a meditation in itself. And he said that's the proper way of giving. So that could, and giving here can also mean just, and most specifically, in fact, giving of your smile to somebody else, giving of your mettā, of your compassion, of your joy, sympathetic joy. And these are such great gifts. It's so hard to measure the amount of beauty and goodness that comes out of these. And you can also understand generosity to be just helping someone who needs it, helping whoever, your brothers in the spiritual life, your sisters in the spiritual life. And the more you have these experiences, you'll see within yourself, after some time, these trees are starting to grow and take root, and it's so beautiful. And when you think back on your actions, you're just so happy that you were doing all these things. And it actually protects your mind. It keeps your mind in a very good state all the time, supporting it. And so retreats are like digging a well also. We go deep, we go and get the water for a while. Sometimes we hit little rocks and things like that. We just pry them out of the way, get them out one by one, slowly but surely. And then at some point we get more and more water, and this actually really helps us to grow our inner garden, where we go to feed for our happiness, to forage for our happiness. And when you have this beautiful deep well, then you can go back into the world and share it with everybody. That doesn't mean, oh, you should be Buddhist. Bhante would say, yeah, no, that's religion inappropriate, but he would say, don't
Don't be Buddhist, be the Buddha.
huh?
Don't be a Buddhist, be the Buddha.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's not what I heard, but yes. Don't be a Buddhist, but be like the Buddha. Yeah, that's a really good example. So it's not about preaching and telling others what they should be doing or not. It's about your own actions. And you know, in fact, when you lead by example, when somebody sees that you're actually practicing what you're saying, that's really impactful. That's the most impact that you can have. Not any kind of words that you could kind of logically come up with. So that's always good to remember. And so in a nutshell, be kind, be loving, and give your love away, give your loving kindness away. And find every reason to feel it. Find every reason for it to come up in everything that you do. Just even extending your arm can be full of love. Bringing your arm back can be full of love. And then you stay with it continuously over and over again. And also somebody said something really good today about noticing how they could actually, whatever happened in life, basically, they could just use the 6 R's to change their reaction about everything. And it's not just in meditation. So the 6 R's are not just a meditation tool, it's a life tool also. Whenever you feel fear or anxiety or any states that trouble you, anger, you can actually recognize. And you don't have to be meditating. We're talking about wholesome mental development here, bhavana. This is more than just sitting meditation. This is all the time what we do with our minds. And you can use the 6 R's for that. If you have an exam and you're super stressed and you just, have to remember, just like, okay, 6 R. Just recognize I'm stressed. There is tension. Release. Just, okay, it's okay. Stress, exam. Relax the tension. Smile. Come back to kindness. Come back to loving kindness. And then keep studying. And then you'll see, it'll be fine. It'll help you so much because like this, you're not wasting your energy into the unwholesome states. The unwholesome states take away our energy. But when you remain with wisdom in the wholesome, this gives you a lot of power as well. Of course, we've touched upon the virtues every morning. We repeat those because it's good to refresh them every morning, and we get into a rhythm on retreat. And it's a good way here on retreat to remember them, basically. That's why we take them every morning, to refresh them if maybe something has happened during that day that you broke a virtue. Maybe you said something that wasn't completely true or whatever it is. Even though we're not supposed to talk. But also the reason why we repeat them is because to really bring them home in our minds and hearts and resonate with how they actually feel, resonate with their field of goodness, basically. And so remembering that holding the virtues will actually protect you. These 5 virtues are arakshakayas. They are protectors. They are keepers of your mind and heart. If you hold them, there's a lot of unwholesome actions that can no longer get to you, basically. Or Any unwholesome actions that has been done in the past will not be built upon it. It will seal most of the coarser bad things that you could do, and your life will become very, very, very blissful. And so what about the practice now? So now, everybody's been at different places. We all start at the same intersection all together, and then somebody go this way, and then somebody go that way, and then somebody go there, and now it's time to bring it all back together and say that when you start, when you go back home, start back with loving kindness, start back with Mettā. And if you need to, if it doesn't come easily, you can start with yourself, sending loving kindness to yourself. May I be well and happy. May I be peaceful and calm. Remember a time you were happy. Feel that feeling of happiness, of love in your heart. And then after 10, 15 minutes, then you can change to your spiritual friend. It's good not to change your spiritual friend too much, but that is up to you now. Just because your mind likes to get distracted. So, just so you're aware of this. So it'll come up with all kinds of people, and then the mind won't easily settle down. But that is now mostly up to you. And after some time, when you practice, if you were there in the practice, and pretty much everybody is, the feeling goes up into your head, or starts to be more from the head. It gets lighter and lighter and lighter. And just allow it to do that. Allow it to just run its course. Don't try to make it happen. It only happens when you feel loving kindness for a certain time and you 6R all the rest, purifying your mind. That's the natural thing that your mind will do. There's no need to force this. And if you want to do the directions, each direction from now on, from there on, then you can. Roughly 3 minutes each direction, 2-3 minutes, and then all directions at once. If you are at a place where you can just start, you already feel the loving kindness, you can just send it to the directions. You don't have to spend time with your spiritual friend or to yourself even. You just feel it. Great, even better. You can already start with the directions. And then it rises up to the head and it lightens up. And then wherever you were in the practice, this will make sure that when you start with the Mettā, you start with the really good, stable foundation. And you start straight. You're starting on the right path. Because sometimes we can think that our mind is wholesome, but it's not really settled and it's not really completely clean yet. And the foundation is a bit shaky. And then we try to go higher or to experience deeper states, and then they just don't come. We get distracted and then we don't understand why. But when we start with Mettā, it just cleans the slate completely, and then you can build up. And then you allow the feeling that you experience, the Brahma Vihara, whether it becomes a very detached kind of loving kindness, and then maybe a light joy, and then very calm radiance of mind. And then maybe the mind becomes very still, and you can rest the mind into the clear mind, the quiet mind. Some people will go through all of this in 2 minutes, some people in 10 minutes, some people in 20 minutes, some people in an hour. It's really up to each individual. This is a natural process. And everybody here now is at different places. So just do that sequence. This is the right sequence, and that will always bring you back to where you were. Now, obviously, if you ask me how long should you sit every day, I would probably say 7 to 8 hours is a good start. But I know that's not really realistic. I would keep you all here with me and with us, and just that be your life for the next few years. But I know you have to go. You have another life, and you have to live that life. And so I'll just give you the other instructions. And basically, in a lot of meditation schools, they say that meditating 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening is a really good thing, and it is. It really is. Having both these times, a little bit for meditation, is good. But this practice is a little bit different, where if you can actually get 2 hours in one time, if you only have 2 hours a day, for example, it will be better for you to meditate for 2 hours straight than twice 1 hour, because you won't be able to get the same depth that you've attained here on retreat. And so actually 2 hours, 1 hour, one sit, 2 hours goes deeper. And you will be able to remember and re-experience what you've experienced here. And if you do that every day, 2 hours sit once a day, every day, you will maintain what you've attained here. If we can use that word, attain, or just developed, basically, cultivated. So usually that is enough. That is enough to keep your practice going. And that's been proven by quite a lot of meditators. So that would be kind of like the minimum if you'd like to maintain what you've gained here. Now, of course, things happen, and that's just my advice. This is my advice to you. Meditate, monks. Whatever happens, I'm just giving that to you as a general structure, because it's just time-tested and proven by experience that this works. This is what really keeps this practice afloat quite well. So then if you'd like, you can do more, as I said. One thing that can be useful is also, if you've been sitting for a bit longer than 2 hours, like 3 or 4 hours, sometimes people that have been meditating in this way, especially in the clear mind, will sit for 3-4 hours, sometimes 5. And what is beneficial is sometimes to reserve one day of your weekend to maybe have a longer sit, or like one morning or one afternoon, and that can be really beneficial to actually help the mind remember what it feels like to really go deeper into your practice. And this will also really feed your day-to-day practice. If you're a monk, well, you've got no excuses. So you can go the whole 7 hours or 8. And I like to say that because in our practice in Buddhism, there is something called Uposatha, or the observance day, which is pretty much every quarter moon. And so if you put some time aside once a week, it's kind of like having a mini observance day in your week, which is really good, which is something that the Buddha encouraged, basically, here in Sri Lanka, that people will come to the monastery and give dana, give food to the monks, meditate, listen to the Dhamma, all these things. And you, wherever you are, you can also just, sit longer, read a book on the Dhamma, and that connects you even a little closer to the life that we live, and the strength of the life that the Buddha set forth. And so that's pretty much for the general meditation practice. Although I have to be honest, in day-to-day life, I think one of the best tools that anyone could have and have in their pocket, in their toolbox, is forgiveness. I don't think there's really any other as powerful tool as forgiveness in our lives. There are so many things that happen to us, so many things all the time, every day. And especially out there when we meet with all kinds of people, when all kinds of things happen to us, if you just train yourself to always welcome everything that comes to you with kindness and forgiveness especially, you will make sure that you don't take up anything, take on your shoulders and add to your burden. And if you just forgive, your life will become very light and very happy. So that's one of the tricks for not picking up things, because after that you have to come on a retreat and 6R and go to all these things. But if you just forgive right away, then you have such a powerful tool. Whether it's a bodily pain, whether it's a person that says something to you, whether it's a situation, finding ways to forgive. And sometimes, life does get crazy. And I think we're all familiar with that. And for me, one analogy that stuck, that was really helpful in a few times is, for example, when we were in India recently, and a lot of things happened, and some people lost their mental balance, and it got very nasty, and the knives were flying low, as we say. So it was a really not unpleasant atmosphere to be in, but I always come back to this principle that I got when I was surfing. Sometimes you're paddling towards beyond the break, basically, where the waves are not in this rumbling white wash that is breaking, and that is really hard to go beyond. And sometimes you think you go over, and then there's a bigger wave coming that's going to crash on you. And one of the things when you're kind of desperate because you don't think you'll make it past that, is that you can actually just let go of everything and just dive under the swell, where all of these waves, the surface waves, and all of the whitewash that is really disturbing and unpleasant just washes right over you, and you can actually be still and wait. There's a way that you can actually feel that there's a kind of a calm, and then come back up and start paddling again. And there's a place where actually the waves are really just surface. If you go a couple of meters in the water, even if it's like 20-foot waves up there, they're not going to actually bring you out, kind of thing. And then you wait. Usually, if you're kind of aware of what you're doing, you've noticed how many waves there's per set. And so you probably know, okay, there's another wave after this, so I'm just going to wait. And then it goes, and then you go up, and then you can start paddling again. And so that's what I do. When things go crazy, I just dive under the swell and just disappear for a while. And that means you can just go into your room and let the whole world do its thing, do its whitewash, and just go and bliss out for 4 hours and come out sparkly and clean and unaffected. And learn to pick your fights, Learn to pick your fights. There's some fights that are just not worth it, and so just let them be and just go meditate and smile. One last topic that I like to talk about that is regarding Dhamma is one of the things that is one of the most important aspects of what we do, and this is called Kaliyāna Mittatā, wise friendship or beautiful friendship. And this room is full of it. And wise friendship, at one point the Buddha, Ananda asked the Buddha, he went to him and said, surely this must be at least half the spiritual life, Bhante. That is wise friendship, the people we surround ourselves with. And the Buddha said, don't say that, Ananda, don't say that. It is the whole of the path. So this is not light. And the reason why we got the Dhamma is because of the Buddha, our first Kaliyāna Mitta. And then the Sangha has maintained it in a way that is still alive today, which is amazing, 2,000, almost 600 years later. And we always learn from Kaliyāna Mittas. We always learn from beautiful friends. We always learn by associating with people that are wise and experienced in this path. And this is always how knowledge gets passed down, basically, from our teachers to us, to the next generation. And I think this impacts so much of our lives at home as well. One thing that I've noticed was that the first thing that happened to me when I started practicing meditation more devotedly, I was going to say seriously, but now you know there's another way. Sincerely, devotedly, yes. I'm an old bhakti, so I like the word devotion. But sincerely, yes, definitely. Is that my whole circle of friends started to change. Because I was drawn to Kaliyāna Mittas. I was drawn to people who actually enjoyed what I was also doing, meditating and talking about goodness, like holding the virtues and like the good deeds that they did last weekend and all these things, where like from less wholesome things to more wholesome things. And so the subjects of conversation, it was a bit of a shift. It was always, it's not easy to adjust and adapt to new friendships because there are certain things that you're not interested in anymore. It's just, you feel like it's kind of not relevant to you. It's not actually nourishing you from the inside anymore. And that's okay. And you can still love these people. You can still, be in good terms, and you can still send them all your Mettā and compassion and move towards more and more. People, surround yourself with people that uphold your values, that uphold your practice. It's funny because, we meditate alone, and like the Buddha makes a big deal of solitude, but in the monastic life, it's a lot about supporting each other in our own solitude as well. So to respect that space and to actually rejoice in the monastic life is so beautiful. It's like seeing the monks just like meditating and being very devoted to their practice and coming out and, do you need something? And how can we make that happen? And how can we support that? Oh, you want to go to that kuti? Yeah, let's do that. Let's bring you to that kuti, like that far away kuti where you can actually meditate without any noise or whatever it is. Oh, you want to go to that retreat? All right, let's do it. Let's help you. So this is like this is such a beautiful aspect of the monastic life, but this is also trickling down into everybody's life. So surround yourself with people that support you, that support your heart and your practice. I just feel like there's so many things that I should be saying, but I'm not sure if I'm probably going to miss a few things. First, I'd like to actually thank Sudhira Bhante, because maybe you don't know, but he's the instigator of this retreat, and he's actually asked to have this retreat in Sri Lanka, and helped organize quite a bit. And so all the merits flow to you as well. Yes, yes. But just know, they're coming at you. And I think there's quite a few happy people on this retreat, and you're taking part in this. So, Sādhu 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 Bhante. And as you know, this, so I've been teaching quite a lot in the past 8 months, and this is my last retreat before the rains, my last teaching, and I just wanted to thank you all. You were actually a really beautiful group and a very, very pleasant group to work with, and I mean that for every single one of you. So thank you for being here. And that was a lovely experience. I actually wanted a smaller retreat because the other ones were like, well, in San Francisco was 45 people, and then Mumbai was 30-ish. Then Kalimpong was 33 or something. So they've been big retreats and taking a lot of energy. But this one was really lovely and smaller, and just, you know, a beautiful ending to this season. So thank you all. And everybody's been doing really good, so that's that's even better. So a couple of things. These are personal, and at the end of every retreat, I take some time to please ask for your forgiveness if I have said or done anything by body, speech, or mind that has come across to you as hurtful or unpleasant or inappropriate. To please forgive me. And it was not meant, it was not my volition, so please know that I only have love for everybody here, and sometimes we don't know, and it happens. I didn't intend it, but sometimes it still happens. So please forgive me. And I am asking my monastic brothers to, I'd like to do a mini pavarana, where I'm asking you to, at the end of the retreat, if you've seen any offenses that I might have broken during this retreat, or any offense that I might have omitted to respect without knowing, please let me know so that I can actually get better. Any questions that you might have that I guess I forgot to open the door for that on the practice, or anything that you would like to share? You're just blissing out. Great. That's the best answer. More bunnies. We started a club in Kalimpong. It's called the Bliss Bunnies. And so there's more bunnies in the club now. Anyhow, at any point, if something arises, please raise your hand. And there's only a few minutes left to probably what I want to say. I want to say that the puja book is for you to keep. This is a gift of the Dhamma, if you'd like to keep it. And all of my work is for free distribution, because the Dhamma should be always shared by generosity and be free, accessible basically to everybody. That is something I firmly believe in, and this is where I'm always working towards with these retreats also. I am a very firm believer in this, so I always try my best to make these retreats by donation only. So there's no price. So nobody has to feel like they don't have money to come. This is an open teaching, and the Buddha said it in the Ratana Sutta. So they have attained the highest for free. So I like that. Keeping in touch, of course, there's so basically a few years ago, 3 years ago, I started this HeartDhamma. This is the name of our website, heartdhamma.love. So if you'd like to keep in touch, see there's a retreat tab. You can just click on the retreat tab. There's on land, which means physical retreats, and then online. But if you just go to the retreats, you'll see whatever is to come. You'll see also all the past retreats, but whatever is to come will be posted there. There is a retreat coming. My next retreat will be after Vasa in Australia with Venerable. I forgot to kind of display all the books today, but if you want to have a look through the books, I don't really have my own books here, but I have Doug's books, and you can always have a peek. I'd like to keep them because every retreat where I go, it's good for people to get in touch with them at least, and then they can at least know that they're there.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.
Thank you. So please free your mind, there's nothing that was done. Well, thank you all for being here, for your presence. Would you like to wrap up with maybe 5-10 minutes of Mettā, and then tomorrow we will have same routine. We come here, do guided meditation, do the last puja. We'll take the 5 virtues this time, which is a lot more manageable in actual life. And tonight will be kind of like the closing Mettā of the retreat. Tomorrow we'll still have a little bit of a short gathering, and then everybody goes wherever you feel like going. So, okay, so let's take a comfortable posture. Allowing yourself to let go and drop away any heaviness on your shoulders, around your head. Taking a deep breath. Smiling. Taking in all of the beautiful, positive that you've accumulated on this retreat. And allowing your heart to tune into such gratitude and beauty and love and happiness. Letting go, relaxing, relaxing, relaxing. Smiling. Relaxing into this loving glow in your chest. Feeling gratitude Feeling. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Feeling all the love you've accumulated in the past 10 days. All the freedom. And simply allow it to shine in all directions, just like the sun, beautiful and bright. Allowing your love to be like an open sky. Like glistening waterfall. And now directing your love to everybody in this group. All of us here, Kaliyāna Mittas. So much love and gratitude. Beautiful group. May all of us here be happy, healthy, successful, always able to feel love and joy and peace. May you always be protected and loved and cared for. Now directing all of your love to Sudhira Bhante for instigating this retreat. For offering this opportunity for all of us to be here. May he always be safe, happy, at peace, may his journey through the sasana be successful and strong and beautiful. Wherever he goes, whatever he does. May you always be a pillar of the sasana. May you always be loved and cared for. And now moving our Mettā, moving the power of our love to my teacher and our teacher, Bhante Vimalaramsi. Who is experiencing a difficult health condition. And so may he always be supported. May he always be loved. May he always be happy and safe and protected. May you be free from trouble and experience Nibbana. And now extending our love to everyone in our community. May we always be strong and forgiving, loving and kind to each other. Humble and patient. Tolerant. May we all live harmoniously, all together, walking on this path. Releasing and relaxing into a completely open love. Feeding on love and joy, like the devas of streaming radiance. Slowly welcoming your senses again. Thank you all for being here, for participating, giving up your presence on this retreat. Thank you. And have a good evening.
I'm leaving home for the coastline, someplace under the sun. I feel my heart for the first time, 'cause now I'm moving on you.